Hey guys, welcome back to Natural and Thick. I'm your girlfriend Cheska, and before we move on, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss out on another video. I'm going to be giving you a review of the second episode, which was titled Cold Hearted, which is inspired by Meek Mill's song of the same name. I did a review of episode 1. If you want to take a look at that, I am going to drop a link right up here. If you watched my last review, then you know exactly how disappointed I was with Irv Gotti's adaptation of F the Police by NWA. It's an iconic song. I was really excited about how he was going to tell this story, and he disappointed me. But we're going to move on from that. As I said in the last video, I was going to continue to watch the anthology series, and I was hopeful that things would get better. Let me just say, spoiler alert, I'm going to be giving all of the spoilers. This second episode of Tales was based on Meek Mill's song known as Cold Hearted. If you've heard the lyrics of the song, it basically is chronicling Meek Mill as he is encountering a whole lot of success, and how the people around him are changing, and how things are getting more and more effed up. Basically, people around him basically are like suckers. But anyway, so yeah, so that's basically the premise of the song, and that is what Irv Gotti had to go on when he created this episode. This episode of Tales, it kind of starts off with this rapper, and he gets shot. His name is Gutta. Gutta is shot in front of a car, and his best friend is there basically watching him die. And so you see him like looking all distraught. The best friend known as Tank. So Tank is looking so distraught as his best friend, basically Gutta, is being killed. He was shot to death right in front of him, and so he's watching him kind of bleed out, and he's calling for help, blah 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 blah. Remember that. Then basically the series picks up with MC Lyte. She is the detective along with this other guy, and they're investigating the what ends up being the homicide of this successful rap star known as Gutta. Gotta look at Gutta. Gutta is cute. Let me tell you, he is cute. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The MC Lyte and this other detective, they're interviewing other people that's closest to Gutta. And so the first person that they're interviewing is Tank. And so Tank walks them through this story. So I guess while I was hearing these different stories, I was just trying to figure out who did what and what is the truth. You got to kind of pick together what's true, because everybody's going to fabricate in their stories. So the first person that's being interrogated is Tank. And Tank is basically telling the story about how him and Gutta came to be. So, you know, they started off rapping together. You know, Tank was the lyric writer. He would write all the lyrics, and you know, they both would rap them together. This record label exec, he's going to be known as Lou. Lou sees them, and he's like all about it. He wants to meet them or whatever, and then he wants to sign them. And so he says, like, you gotta drop the dead weight. It's not the 80s anymore. He cannot sell a duo, but he can definitely sell Gutta to the public. So Tank has to go. Tank is kind of left to the wayside, but you know, he's still Gutta's best friend. The only thing is that Gutta and the manager, they end up dating, and you know, they have a full-fledged relationship. So he's basically painting this picture or whatever, and you know, it seems really messed up. Like, dang, this guy, he was helping Gutta, he was there for Gutta, that's his best friend, and you know, he kind of got gypped. He ended up getting into a fight with these guys who they had their previous dealings with, and so he was saying that y'all need to go be looking out for them. They interview the guy that was got him to the fight with them at the club, and while that is happening, they get word that yes, Gutta does actually die, which was obvious that was going to happen because he was bleeding out very badly. He blames it on someone else, and so that's what's going on. It's basically they're playing the blame game. They then interview Gutta's girlfriend / manager, and she paints her side of the story. She makes it seem like Tank had a thing for her, and then she kind of points the finger at Lou. And so now they're interviewing Lou, and Lou is the record label exec that signed Gutta to his record label. And so he's telling us, he's making it seem like he is the knight in shining armor. He was just trying to help Gutter out. He was telling him to get rid of the dead weight because they were bad for him. Like, they were basically leeches and they were just sucking him dry for his money. He was trying to get him to do right. And so he's telling the investigators that and saying he would never have Gutter killed. Gutter tried to tell him that some people was after him. Gutter was telling him that, you know, there's this guy that if you give him like 10 grand or so, that he would kill anybody. It doesn't matter if they're a blood, crip, or whatever. He would just kill them just for the money. And so he was trying to tell him, like, you know, that's not the way to go or whatever. Anyway, that's going to come back in handy. So that's the recap so far. So it kind of told the same story from a bunch of different people's point of view, from Tank to Gutter's girlfriend / manager to whoever Maino was playing, who was kind of like the enemy or whatever, and then to Lewis or King Lou, who was the record label executive. And with all of that, so after they told all of these different sides of the story, none of them matched up. I mean, like I said, it was the same story, but it always had a different twist to try to paint each of the characters in a better light. I was sitting here trying to figure out who did it. It was obvious that it was more than likely going to be one of those people that was interrogated by the police. So I automatically assumed that it was definitely going to be the girlfriend, because why not? You know, you kill them, you get money, blah blah blah. So that's what I thought was going to happen. But towards the end of the show, here we go. We see Tank, the best friend. Let me just say this. I knew it. Once the ending was coming up, I knew exactly how this was going to go down, and I actually started to get excited, and I was talking at the screen. I was yelling at my fiance, and you know, it actually had me engaged. So Irv Gotti, ooh, the guy comes up and he has basically this big old bag with him, and he's getting ready to pay this guy. And I said it, I already clocked him. I'm saying that's the guy that Gutter was talking about earlier, and Tank is getting ready to pay him off because he is the one that put a hit out on Gutter. And lo and behold, I was 100% correct. Now, in the beginning, I did think that it was the girlfriend that did Gutter in, but it turned out to be the best friend. It did take me to almost the end of the movie to figure that out, but that's okay. I got it together. Dang, that is so messed up. Your best friend would do that to you for some coins. Like, yes, I feel like he was gypped, like he was the one, he was basically Gutter's ghostwriter, and he should have been compensated properly for that. But that is no reason to take out your best friend. That's awful. I would never do that. And it's awful, but you know, it is so true. In the world that we live in, people will do you in for a little bit of coin. Your best friend, your sister, your brother, your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife. Tank says he got the money out of Gutter's secret safe, and that he got all this money and that he took it because it was rightfully his. He did all this stuff for him. He was tired of, you know, putting up with that. So the guy was like, oh, word, you know, you gotta be safe out here, you know, you got all that cash, you gotta be safe. Tank goes to walk away like a dummy. As soon as Tank turns his head, he gets shot by the hitman, and we all know that the hitman is going to take that money, and that's basically how the episode ends. So I am so happy. I am so happy that this episode was not 2 hours long. It was only 60 minutes, and that was including commercials. So bravo, BET. I'm so happy that you cut this episode down to under 2 hours, you know, because that 2 hours, it would just did me in. So this episode of Tales was more fast paced, and I appreciate that. It jumped right into what was going on. You know, the story kept moving very quickly. And so I am so happy and grateful that BET and Irv Gotti got it right with this episode. The plot was really good. I like the fact that they did these different perspectives. This has been done before, but it was still really good. It kept me interested, and I actually remembered the characters' names this time, except for the girlfriend. I don't know why I don't remember, but I don't. There were some moments where I feel like the acting could have been better, especially with Tank. I don't know, maybe I'm saying that just because of what happened to his character and how he ended up being, but I just felt like Tank's acting could have been better. MC Lyte, you know, she is an OG, so I'm not going to say anything negative upon her in her role as the detective. You know, this episode was kind of giving me a little bit of some Suge Knight tease at first, because I was looking at Lou and I'm thinking like, okay, this dude's supposed to be like a little Suge Knight like character, and we all know how Suge Knight is, but it turned out he's not the one that did it. It was Tank, the best friend, which I should have known, since I know that this was based on Meek Mills' Cold Hearted. And if we look at the lyrics, I lost ninjas when I got paper. It's like more money I made, they got faker. And it's crazy when your best friend turned into your top hater. If you know the lyrics to the song, then you would have already known how this episode was going to play out. I think Irv Gotti did a much better job telling this story and bringing Meek Mills' Cold Hearted to life, because you know that friend that's messed up. It makes you feel like you can't trust anybody. Your best friend will do you in over some coin. That's the world we living in. So please watch your backs, because you don't know who's trying to do you in, who is really turning into your haters. As you are on your way to success, there are always people around you that want to prey on your downfall. And so that's basically what I took from Meek Mill's song, and that's basically what I took away from Irv Gotti's adaptation of this song. So I am going to say kudos to Irv Gotti Lorenzo. You actually did do a really good job. What's a job? You really did do a great job bringing this story to life. The Lord knows, F the police, that first episode was super cringeworthy, but this one was so much better. But with that being said, if you have any criticisms of Tales, or if you really enjoyed it and you agree with how I felt about this show, make sure that you comment down below, like this video, and again, hit the subscribe button. Also, you can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But until next time, deuces.